facing potentially the end of his presidency, held a secret meeting. At least 15 members of the House joined in discussing a plan to object to the electoral results and challenge them come January 6th, the day a joint session of Congress is held to count the electoral votes. Only this night, something was different. Not only was it an 800-year cycle of Jupiter and Saturn aligning, creating the Christmas star, but one man at this meeting truly held substantial power. And that man was Mike Pence. Okay, I'll drop the bit. It does sound a bit crazy or a bit enticing, and maybe something will come of it, we'll see. But yes, Donald Trump held a meeting with many members of Congress talking about objecting to the results of the election. The electoral votes happened on the 14th. January 6th is when the vote will happen. But as the media is reporting that Donald Trump met with these people, they're leaving out the most important man in the room, Mike Pence. That's the point I was trying to make. You see, on January 6th, Mike Pence is the one who actually counts the votes. He's going to hold them up and say, I count here by this, and we'll see who wins. I think it's kind of crazy that the incumbent vice president actually gets to count the votes to determine whether or not he can keep power. You know, I think there's a lot of incentive for someone like Mike Pence to actually fight on his own behalf. And perhaps he will. Trump can't do much, but he is certainly fighting. And while we're seeing many House members say they will challenge this, and boy, are there a lot, we still need some senators. While it's possible that Rand Paul and Kelly Loeffler will be the senators to join in creating that objection, will it even matter if there's no legal grounds to actually challenge these votes? As most of you know, Donald Trump and his campaign have been filing a series of lawsuits. Not as many as the left will tell you. They'll say, Trump lost 50 lawsuits. Okay, those are other people. Trump has certainly filed many lawsuits, but not nearly as many as the media claims, and he's actually been successful 1 or 2 times or so. But even with these lawsuits, they've been rejected mostly on procedural grounds. So by what legal standing will they have to actually overturn the results of the election or give Mike Pence legal justification for saying, I throw out, say, Pennsylvania? Well, I can't tell you exactly what their reasoning will be, but I can tell you Trump campaign files long-shot Supreme Court challenge to Biden's Pennsylvania win. You see, when I saw this, I can't tell you definitively what the goal is, but I kind of want to put the pieces together. Why would Donald Trump file a long-shot SCOTUS challenge for Pennsylvania? Perhaps that's what this meeting is all about. A strategy meeting with other Republicans, Trump-supporting Republicans, on what they need to actually file a challenge. And just the day before this meeting, Trump filed yet another legal challenge. But maybe this one won't be heard. And maybe that's the point. I know a lot of people say it's stupid to argue that losing is winning, and Trump supporters seem to think that losing is the best path forward. It's not. What they're arguing in some of these meetings, or one of the arguments for the objections, is that the Supreme Court has refused to hear their case. And because of that, they want the American people to hear the case. And that's what they're going to do on January 6th. Maybe that's the plan. I don't know for sure, but I can tell you one thing outside of all of this is that Mitch McConnell's certainly not in on it. He is opposing Donald Trump, and that's because the Republican Party is an establishment political apparatus. Trump is fighting against it, so we will see if he can muster the courage, the strength, and the political willpower among his supporters to make that difference and actually find a way to win. But let's read the story and see exactly what the meeting was. But before I do, let me just entice you with some baity information. Mike Pence actually said recently at a Turning Point USA conference, we're going to keep fighting to overturn the election. He actually was saying, we're not going to stop fighting until every illegal ballot is out and every legal ballot is in. They're still fighting. Maybe Mike Pence was just trying to rile up the crowd, or maybe Mike Pence is actually the guy who's going to be in that joint session who says, no, Donald Trump won. Emails. Well, let's read the news before we get started. Head over to timcast.com/donate if you'd like to support my work. There are many ways you can give. Got a P.O. box. You want to send me some stuff. But the best thing you can do is share this video. It really does help. I don't have the marketing department like CNN or Fox News, and if you think I do a good job, seriously, sharing is huge. If every single person who watched every one of my videos, or just this one, shared it right when they started watching it, just take the URL, put it on whatever platform, I'd be bigger than CNN overnight. If you think I'm worthy of that and you think the content is good, then please consider supporting the channel. Otherwise, just like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and let's read what's up with this meeting. And then what's up with Mike Pence's statements about fighting to change the results? Fox News reports President Trump Monday huddled with members of Congress to discuss plans to object to President-elect Joe Biden's Electoral College win and force a debate on allegations of voter fraud. Representative-elect Marjorie Taylor Greene from Georgia attended the White House meeting and said there's growing support for GOP lawmakers from the House and Senate to challenge the election results when a joint session of Congress convenes on January 6 to certify the results. The vote was 306 to 232 in Biden's favor. We will be raising objections to the Electoral College votes for Joe Biden for multiple states, Greene told Fox News. Greene said the White House meeting included Trump, Vice President Pence, there it is, Trump's legal team, and about 15 House members, including GOP reps Jim Jordan of Ohio, Andy Biggs of Arizona, Mo Brooks of Alabama, Matt Gaetz of Florida, and Louis Gohmert of Texas. Congressional rules require a House member and senator to simultaneously challenge a state's electoral slate when they jointly convene on January 6th. Greene said senators are on board, though she declined to name them publicly. Quote, some people just haven't totally gone public yet, but we're going to have a lot of people on board, and we definitely have senators, Greene told Fox News. This is going to be historic, and the amount of evidence is overwhelming. Alabama Senator-elect Tommy Tuberville has raised the possibility of challenging the Electoral College, but GOP Senate leaders have discouraged it. Senate Majority Whip John Thune from South Carolina said he hoped Tuberville won't do it because the election has been litigated over and over, and it was time to move on. I don't think it's good for the country, Thune told reporters last week. Trump, however, is rallying his base to fight for him. And I got to tell you, my friends, Trump doesn't have to do all that much.
He doesn't do
much.
Saw
the COVID relief bill, they called it. The omnibus spending package, $2.3 trillion
like
of good old American taxpayer money at a time when we are at our most desperate and dropping to our knees as our businesses burn down around us figuratively and literally in some cases. And we say, please, do something to help us.
Tweets.
It has never been more evident that the people in Congress do not represent the people. The senators do not represent the will of the states when they vote to give $10 million for Pakistani gender programs, and you only get $600 of your own money. They take it from you, and they are giving it out in foreign aid at a time when we are desperate and our economy is facing dire straits. They don't represent us. And so I assure you, people will be angry and looking for something to change what's about to happen. Maybe Joe Biden will be that hero everyone thinks, huh, on the left? Is that what they think? I doubt it. It's the only people who are opposing this. In fact, people like Jim Jordan, he voted no on this. And Matt Gaetz voted no. I'm pretty sure Matt Gaetz also voted no on this. There are very few politicians who actually stood up and said this bill is ridiculous. You and your wealth and your family's wealth and your future are being extracted, and it's been that way for a long time. Trump called into a Turning Point USA event where he insisted he won in a landslide and encouraged the Justice Department and members of Congress to step up and support him. Quote, we are fighting
last
really
thing
for
I
the
think
country
Trump did
because
was
this
he called
election,
into
we
the
won this
hearings.
election in a landslide,
That was
Trump
something.
said. It's all documented.
That was
The problem is we need a
anything.
party that is going to fight. And we have some great congressmen and women that are doing it. And we have others, some great fighters, but we won this in a landslide. They know it. And we need backing from, like, the Justice Department and other people have to finally step up. Trump has repeatedly alleged that he beat Biden. This we all understand. In addition to winning the Electoral College, Biden won the popular vote by 7 million votes. White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows confirmed that Trump met with the lawmakers in the Oval Office, and they were preparing to fight back against mounting evidence of fraud, Meadows tweeted. On January 6th, the House and Senate convened jointly in the House chamber. Pence would co-preside over the session in his capacity as president of the Senate, alongside House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Pence's term doesn't expire until January 20th. If there is a House and Senate member appealing a state's slate of electors, the joint session of Congress is dissolved, and the House and Senate meet separately for 2 hours to debate a contested state's electoral vote. Each body then votes whether to accept or reject the state's slate of electoral votes. Then the House and Senate reconvene in the joint session. My friends, I do not see any way that you're going to get the likes of, like Murkowski or whatever, these centrist Republican types or moderate Republican types. They're not going to vote for this. Will the Republicans actually have the majority to pull this off? I don't think so. So my understanding is that Perdue won't be there. Loeffler might be there because of the way the Georgia election works. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think they'll be able to pull it off. You would need the Republican House, the Republican Senate to say, we've confirmed the objection, and then you would need the Democratic House to, I guess, also confirm the objections. It's not going to happen. Now, possibly, because we saw the Republican electoral candidates who did not get voted in, they have procedural votes in the event they actually, the results are overturned in some capacity. Maybe Mike Pence argues, well, the state legislatures approved these. The governors approved these. Which ones do I count? There's actually precedents that he just says neither. And maybe, but probably not. Something will happen. They say a state's slate of electoral votes is only tossed if both the House and Senate vote to do so. With Democrats controlling the House and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell acknowledging Biden's win, it seems unlikely there would be enough votes to reject any state certification. Green said she intends to object and during floor debate present evidence of voter fraud. She points to White House advisor Peter Navarro's new report on election irregularities. She said the most important part of the meeting was basically to make sure that everything that we use is accurate. Not just a rumor here and there, but actual real evidence of voter fraud. It has to be correct.
Search and recover.
She said Trump was in great spirits, and he was grateful for the members who will be fighting for him in Congress. He deserves his day in court, but he's definitely going to have his day in Congress, she said. The people truly believe that they re-elected President Trump, Green added. And as members of the House, we're doing what the people want. I think she is. I think you've got a bunch of mindless, drone-like establishment Republicans who are kind of just doing nothing, but sure. Now, whether or not Pence would actually intervene himself, I'm not entirely convinced. He is fighting for his own self-preservation, which makes things all the more interesting. In several states, I believe 7, the Republican electoral candidates cast procedural votes where they said, in the event the results are changed, our votes are duly recorded and can be presented to Congress. In fact, according to Stephen Miller, they intend to send those to Congress. That doesn't mean it's going to matter. It doesn't mean they're certainly not official. But if the state legislatures say they are, at least according to the Constitution, Mike Pence could at least argue, well, look, the state legislature said these are the votes. The governor certified these votes. What do I do? Mike Pence might choose not to count them, triggering a contingent election. I'll tell you what I think is going to happen. Let me just give you my prediction before we go forward and I show you more of what's going on. Because Mike Pence did say, we are going to keep fighting. He said not until, every legal vote is counted, every illegal vote is not counted.
Shit.
I think come January 6th, there's going to be objections. They're going to stand up and they're going to proclaim things and they're going to say, look at the evidence, here's what's going on.
There's 2 graffiti's
and then
on the way.
The House will vote no, they'll vote for Biden.
I can start
the Senate
from
will
here.
vote probably for Biden. And then, because Republicans will defect as well, and then Mike Pence will count the votes and Joe Biden will win. And on that day, Joe Biden will be president-elect. I can't predict the future. I can't see any other variables that might occur. So as of right now, based on what I'm reading, that seems to be the most likely outcome. Don't take my predictions as some kind of law. I have no idea. Ultimately, it could just pan out to be, it could ultimately turn out to be something totally crazy. A meteor could crash and then dinosaurs come out, space dinosaurs. Who knows what could happen? Joe Biden could have a cardiac episode and find himself unable to be inaugurated. I have no idea. But based on normalcy bias and everything that's happening, Mike Pence can claim we're going to keep fighting. But
they
does
can
he
squeeze
really mean
in.
it? I honestly do not believe so, and I'll tell you why. I've been saying it for the past several days. The Democrats come out and they'll propose a bill to burn down our house. And the Republicans say, we object. Only burn down the kitchen. That's the bit I've been using quite a bit. The idea is that instead of actually pulling in the direction of what their constituents want, all they do is pretend to oppose the Democrats, but don't actually do anything. The way I described it to some guy earlier was, imagine the Democrats are in a car driving full speed towards the cliff to the left, and Mitch McConnell is skiing the back of the car, but he's telling you he's actually pulling it, trying to make it stop. It's like, bro, you're just being dragged along with them. You're not doing anything to stop this. When are they going to propose an alternative to everything the Democrats are doing? When are they going to say, okay, we'll tell you what, Our rebuttal to the stimulus is, we'll do the stimulus exactly as you want it if you include a provision forcing the economy to reopen tomorrow. They won't, because Republicans only play on Democrat terms. So I'm sorry if I don't see the political willpower from the Republican Party. Now, Trump supporters, I think, have willpower, and that's who's standing up for Trump. There is one last Hail Mary effort. Trump campaign long shot Supreme Court challenge to Biden's Pennsylvania win. Maybe there's something here. Maybe what actually happens is that the Supreme Court finally takes up one of these cases and says, well, we're not going to rule the elections out, but we will say the legislature has to issue a final say. Then, so the Supreme Court ultimately doesn't overturn this, but then maybe they instruct the state legislature to inform the federal government who they're voting for, and they vote for Trump. Maybe SCOTUS instructs all of the states to do so. The likelihood that I think that happens is astronomically is near nil. I just don't see it happening at all. But I did wonder why it was that Trump filed this, and I rolled my eyes when he did. I've been through too much of this. I've looked at so many of these stories about Donald Trump and the lawsuits, and I just said, look, Trump's campaign has filed a series of suits. They've been rejected on procedural grounds, and then you had a bunch of Trump allies and Republicans file lawsuits, and ultimately it just, nothing. Now, there's still some suits going through. We'll see how these things play out. Some of them are just patently absurd. But I have to wonder. The system is completely broken. It's absolutely broken. When you see that COVID relief bill and that omnibus spending package, and you know that we are a suffering nation and they're sending $130 million for like breastfeeding programs or something and $10 million for Pakistani gender studies. Just where does this money come from? What are they buying? What value does this money have? No, it's just being extracted, taken from us. So now I totally get why there are many people who are demanding that Donald Trump win, because it's only gotten worse. Now, this meeting Trump had was not the only thing he's talking about. You see, there was another meeting. The Guardian reports conspiracy theorist lawyer Sidney Powell spotted at White House again. Oh, again. That's right, my friends. The first report was that Donald Trump was planning on appointing Sidney Powell as special counsel to investigate election fraud. That would be glorious. Absolutely amazing. I want and encourage this. No, I don't agree with Sidney Powell in terms of her statements on Dominion and all those other things. I don't believe her accusations on Smartmatic and Dominion and a bunch of these things, and I've looked into it. I know there are a lot of people who want it all to be true and believe it because they've seen a bunch of videos and stuff like that. Look, I just don't see it. I'm sorry. But that's okay. You know why? I want it to happen. Good. I actually think it'd be a good thing. Sidney Powell would get in there and kind of, dig through the system a little bit, and I think it would be an improvement. Even if she's wrong about Dominion voting systems and fraud or whatever, is irrelevant. The fact that we would have someone who's very suspicious of it, digging through it, is better than what we got from the DOJ already. I'm surprised, when I see Bill Barr said, his quote several weeks ago was, to date, we have not seen evidence that would have changed the results of the election. I can respect that. But why aren't you investigating any of this stuff? 'Cause I'll tell you this. I have seen personally, I've seen and corroborated evidence of what are described as potentially illegal ballots. The reason I put it that way is that's what the way it was described to me. It would be evidence of fraud, and I've seen it. It's from Matt Brainerd of the Voter Integrity Project. That needs an investigation now. The DOJ didn't give it to us. I think Sidney Powell would. And I'm not entirely sure what she would find, but I'll tell you this. Bill Barr recently said there is fraud in elections. It happens, like every election. It's unfortunate, but not to the extent that it changed the results. For me, okay, Bill, no problem. I would like those people to be arrested and charged, so we just say we're taking it seriously and we're going to stop the fraud. How about that? Why is that so hard? What with Sidney Powell, Trump might be leaving behind a well-positioned asset to prevent this kind of impropriety and potential fraud, even if it doesn't reach some grandiose scale. It's a good thing. What's the worst thing that could happen? I know people on the left are going to be like, Trump's crazy, she's a conspiracy theorist. A special counsel, dude. What's she going to do? Make recommendations for prosecutions that might get ignored, but still be able to show us evidence, uncover evidence, publish evidence and help us get a little bit more transparency.
I've never been
That I
here.
actually like. I do. The Republican Party, meanwhile, I think is going to fall apart. Donald Trump is the Republican Party.
Oh,
And I was
I've
was
been
talking
here.
to some people earlier, and I tell you,
I've totally
watching
been
Mitch
here.
McConnell turn his back on Trump over and over
Okay.
and over again, watching McConnell brag about this spending bill, and I'm like, you know what? You are just going to get angry people who turn on the Republican Party, make their own, and see it collapse. As much as right now we can say that the Republican Party is the party of Trump, there are still a lot of establishment politicians and rhinos, Republicans in name only. They're still in positions of power. And with Trump set to vacate the White House in the next month or so, these establishment politicians are excited, and they're desperate to
Awesome,
take
here.
that control. Many of the Republicans who voted no on the ridiculous omnibus bill probably just did it knowing it was going to pass anyway, and they could pretend to stand up for something. Many of them did it because they actually stand up for something. But ultimately, it won't be enough, because enough Republicans agreed with it. In the Senate, I think only 6 Republicans opposed it, and these are the establishment cronies that are fighting to take control. When 126 Republicans signed on to this lawsuit
Should've been
from
alright.
Texas, many of them knew it was going to fail, and so they said, "I'll just say I support Trump to try and win."
I need you to pay a visit to a tiger
But these Trump
project
supporters,
and retrieve something
the ones
for
that
me.
you need to win,
I know you are
they don't
up
care
to
about
the
you.
task.
They don't care about the
I am
Republican Party.
attaching more
They care about
information.
Donald Trump winning.
Read it
Which brings me to the biggest question I have in all of this. I wonder if the Republicans are going to win in Georgia. Joel Pollack said, "The danger in Georgia is that Democrats
somehow
are highly motivated to
I
win
think
the
it's a
2 Senate
lower
seats
level.
that will make all their radical socialist dreams possible, while Republicans are struggling to find the motivation to defend a constitutional democracy in which they are slowly losing faith." That's right. It's a great point. But I'll make it worse for you. On January 6th, Alex Jones will be in D.C., and he called for 10 million patriots to occupy D.C. in a peaceful demonstration. 10 million, he says, will be there. Where are these people coming from? I have to imagine that many of these people will be coming from Georgia. Not all of them, but a decent amount. Georgia's not that far from D.C., I mean, relative to, say, California. How many people on January 5th, the day of the Georgia runoff, will get in their truck, get in their cars, pack it up, and say, "We're going to spend the next couple of days in D.C. for a big protest"? And you know what it is? On January 5th, that's the Georgia runoff. That's when the votes got to come in. Now, they could vote early for sure. But how many of these Republicans are going to leave Georgia on the 5th saying, "I don't care about Purdue. I don't care about Loeffler. I care about Donald Trump"?
What's this?
And what is more important? Being in Georgia to vote for 2 Republicans that you don't actually care for? Without Trump on the ticket, many of these people aren't going to bother to vote. Then you add in the fact that many of the people who might vote because they're culture warriors or they're politically active, they'd rather be in D.C. January 6th is that day. Republicans are not likely to just drive up at 2 a.m. from Georgia to D.C. No, they'll come the day before. Maybe they'll go and vote first, for sure, and maybe they'll then go and make their way to D.C. Or maybe I think we'll actually see a lot of Republicans saying, "I don't care. Loeffler and Purdue. So what?" Some Trump supporters have already called for sacrificing the Senate so that we're forced to move forward in some kind of accelerationism, I suppose. Why would I then assume the Republicans will keep control of the Senate? To give Mitch McConnell power? Why would Trump supporters want to give Mitch McConnell power? Right now, Donald Trump is talking about vetoing the National Defense Authorization Act, the bloated spending bill for the defense bill, unless we get Section 230 repealed. Mitch McConnell, Senate to return December 29th for potential Trump veto override vote. McConnell defies Trump. McConnell teams up with Democrats to defy Donald Trump. Why would Trump supporters want to help him be the majority leader in the Senate? They won't. If anything, they're going to be laughing as they wave bye-bye, knowing Purdue and Loeffler are going to lose, because it means McConnell loses power, and the Republicans will get some comeuppance. You know what's funny? At the RNC and the DNC in 2016, Where did we see the Democrats protest? Not the RNC, not against Republicans, against Democrats. Why? Because the vehicles for power are the establishment political parties. Right now, Trump supporters, well, they know they don't like Democrats. And so their only option is demanding of Republicans to help them in their fight. But like I said, Republicans don't do that. The Democrats will propose burning down the kitchen, and burning down the House, and Republicans will say just only burn down the kitchen. So then Republicans get especially mad. I'm sorry, Trump supporters are especially mad at the Republican political class, saying, you didn't defend us, so we want you gone. If they're already losing to the Democrats, why bother propping up those who won't fight for you?
Oh.
And that's why I think nobody's going to want to hand Mitch McConnell anything. Trump directed email criticizes McConnell, including polling graphic sent to some House Republicans. The odd communication was obtained by NBC News. Yeah. Basically, Trump was saying that he helped McConnell win. That McConnell was actually doing poorly until Trump started pushing McConnell out and his name and giving him a bump and trying to help him win. Probably true. For all the reasons I just explained, Trump supporters don't care for the Republican Party. So what happens next? January 5th is the next most important day. In between then, we may see something. Supreme Court might reject Trump's latest claims, which seems extremely likely. On the 5th, the Georgia runoff will happen. And we'll learn, presumably, whether or not the Democrats will take control of the Senate. The best they can muster is a tie, but Kamala Harris as vice president would control the Senate. In which case, everything I said gets so much worse. If Trump supporters know that they can lose 2 seats in Georgia, creating a tie in the Senate, but if Mike Pence is vice president, they win, why bother fighting for Perdue and Loeffler? Trump can come out and say it. Vote for Perdue and Loeffler to keep the Senate in the hands of the Republicans. Why? That'll empower Mitch McConnell. How about this? You let Georgia fall. Then you go to D.C. on the 6th to fight for Trump so that when Trump wins the presidency, Mike Pence is the tiebreaker and Republicans do control the Senate, but with a weakened Mitch McConnell. Doesn't that make more sense for Trump supporters? Now, I'll tell you the big problem. It's not going to happen. I don't think Trump is going to successfully overturn this, but I'd be willing to bet, personally, that a Trump supporter would rather bet on Trump in D.C. than on the GOP in Georgia. If you gave the average Trump supporter a choice, be on the ground, cheering, chanting, rallying, and voting for Loeffler and Perdue, or make your way to D.C. to cheer and chant and occupy D.C. with Alex Jones and many other conservative personalities in defense of Trump, they will pick Trump. Because it makes sense. Even if they lose Georgia, if Trump wins, they break the tie. Now, if they lose Georgia and then Joe Biden becomes president, then Democrats are in control of everything. They take control of everything, and then they'll start stacking the Supreme Court, and they'll have every branch of government. Should be fun, I guess, but ultimately, does any of this stuff really matter when the political establishment is in tatters and is crumbling? I don't know. I think in 4 years, it's going to get really, really, really tense. Maybe sooner. The rate of exchange of information is extremely rapid. And these past 4 years have been the most dramatic escalation in the culture war we've ever seen. States lining up against states. Newt Gingrich saying he won't recognize Biden. I think it'll get spicy. I'll leave it there. Next segment is coming up tonight, 8 p.m. live, youtube.com/TimCastIRL. We're going to have a really, really big show with a great guest. Someone actually involved, I believe, involved in these lawsuits. Apparently has something really big to say, so we'll see. Check it out at youtube.com/TimCastIRL. Make sure you subscribe, and I will see you then live at 8 p.m. tonight.
Shit. I'm on the walker.
Hello, everyone.
I'm gonna find something Better to watch. Oh, right. I
Some
had
of the
it.
greatest memes throughout the years came Some of the greatest memes throughout the years came when foreign language songs hit the English speaking world. First example that probably comes to your mind is Gangnam Style, which honestly is hard to believe was already 8 years ago. And there's been so many others throughout the years, like The Seventh Element or Numa Numa. But it's been a while since I heard of anybody speak of one of the first foreign language songs to become a meme in the English speaking internet. That song is Daler Mendy's Tunak Tunak Tun, which had a music video that was all over the place in the early 2000s. I took off for obvious reasons, with its goofy, easily imitated dance moves, its Sega Saturn type CG that reminds me of Myst, and several color-coded Daler Mendys getting into mischief like some sort of Sikh Power Rangers. And the story of how and why the video was made, as well as Daler Mendy's career following it, are full of all kinds of interesting twists and turns. So for this episode of Tales from the Internet, let's talk about Tunak Tunak Tun. This video is sponsored by NordVPN. I imagine that a lot of you that have found your way to this video are fans of foreign music and other media. And the thing about that is, sometimes this kind of content is region locked in different countries. With NordVPN servers in over 60 countries, I can make it look like I'm in any country at any time to browse all the region locked media I want. These servers are super fast, so you won't be left waiting. And it even works in China. Right now, take advantage of a limited time holiday deal. Get 68% off a 2-year plan plus 4 additional months free. Just go to nordvpn.com/wang or use code WANG at checkout. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee and is a great gift for the holidays. That's nordvpn.com/wang. Get the holiday deal before it ends. Of all the meme songs that we've had throughout the years, Daler Mendy's Tunak Tunak Tun is one of my favorites just because it's a good-ass song. I have absolutely no idea what he's saying, but I enjoy it all the same. I guess that's just a function of growing up with metal. You get used to the idea of liking a song even though you don't know what the words are. The vocals are just another thing you use to make noise happen. But it's not as if Tunak Tunak Tun made him either. Daler Mendy was an extremely popular musician in India well before the West ever heard of him, well before we got to see him descend from the skies as each element like some kind of Punjabi Planeteers. And as he told it on his website, Daler Mendy viewed the music video as kind of a fuck you to his critics. A few media houses came up with this analogy that Daler Mendy is super hit because he has pretty women in his videos. Daler Mendy decided to shut them up, and how? There was no woman in the video. It seems like kind of a strange criticism to me. I mean, yeah, sure, hot women sell, but they're kind of all over the place, and surely Daler Mendy wasn't the only one to have hot women in his music videos. And furthermore, I don't know about you, but me personally, my enjoyment of hot women, if I want to ogle hot women, the presence of a jolly, robust Indian man doesn't in any way elevate the experience or really even encourage it. But regardless, he had to go shut them up, so he goes and creates the first Indian music video to use blue screen technology, with the biggest budget to date of 25 million rupees. No women allowed, just 4 Daler Mendys. And actually, according to his website, there was supposed to be a 5th miniature Daler Mendy, but he didn't make it to the final cut because of time constraints. I never thought there would come a time in my life where I felt nostalgia for this caliber of CG. Like, it takes me back to a time where you'd see stuff that looked like that playing on ads for game design colleges on G4. It really does look like something out of Myst. Watch out, Daler, don't get trapped in a book. And sure enough, this amazing music video was enough to shut up Daler's critics. This song was a massive commercial success and basically solidified him as India's #1 pop star. And keep in mind, this is all going down in 1998, which I guess the legacy of Kane tier CG was a clue, but this was a long time before the Western world would ever even get a glimpse of this song. In fact, it's kind of murky when or how this song actually managed to bridge itself over into the English-speaking world, because a lot of that stuff is simply not archived. Personally, I'm not 100% on it, but I'm pretty sure that the first place I saw it was on E-Bomb's World. which of course means it could have come from absolutely anywhere. But the earliest instance I've seen of someone memeing on it is from 2001. It was on a website called lordofdance.com, which has thankfully been archived in all of its fantastic Web 1.0 glory, featuring a guy named Daniel Gomiller dancing. Tunak Tunak Tune is a classic that will not only stand the test of time, but will also stand the test of superglue. Go ahead, hang it from a steel girder, I dare you. Based on popular indie pop star Dalir Mendy's video. Click here to view the original. It emphasizes what was best about his work. It was really good, says the New York Tribunal. Wow, says Rolling Stone. Now with audio fixed. And note that the link that Daniel provided for the original music video goes to an English language website on Indian pop culture. If I had to guess, I'd say that this website, Teen Station, is probably how the video first made its way to an American audience. Daniel's interpretation of the video features him dancing to Mendy's song in a variety of outfits of his own, and several more of these parodies would pop up throughout the early to mid 2000s, reaching its peak at some point in 2006. Come on, how are you gonna call it the Caucasian edition and you got an Asian dude right there? Wait, is that a young wavy web surf? There was even a World of Warcraft parody that led to it actually being added into the game as an emote. And the phenomenon would take another turn in 2007. That was when a man named Mike Sutton, more popularly known as Buffalax, got to work on his YouTube channel. Buffalax would take Tunak Tunak Tune as well as a number of other Indian songs and songs from other countries and make videos of them with misheard lyrics. The series became so popular that people began to use the word Buffalax to describe this type of video. And granted, his Tunak Tunak Tune video wasn't as popular as some of his others. Personally, I enjoy his version of a different Dalir Mendy song, Shira Ra. But my favorite, of course, and the one you're probably the most familiar with, is Benny Lava. Unfortunately, a lot of Buffalax's work, along with his entire channel, is wiped from YouTube due to copyright issues. However, his entire library is available on the Internet Archive. Considering that Tunak Tunak Tune was released in 1998 and had its gradual ascent into memedom that lasted throughout the mid-2000s, it had perhaps the greatest sustained period of popularity experienced by any pop song. Memes just lasted longer in those days, but eventually they all fade away. And new meme songs just come and go and take its place throughout the years. Tunak Tunak Tune walked so that Gangnam Style could run. But while his profile wouldn't remain at the same heights as they were in the English-speaking world, in India he remained a star. He worked consistently throughout the decades, working on not only his own music, but several movie and television scores. Unfortunately, however, the next time much of the Western world would hear about him would be under much less positive circumstances. On March 16th of 2018, Dalir Mendy was sentenced to 2 years in prison for human trafficking charges. That's a hell of a crazy headline, and it wound up trending on Twitter that day, reacquainting us with Dalir Mendy in the worst way possible. But that being said, there is a lot of misinformation that's circulated around this story. Because you see, A lot of people have interpreted this news to mean that Dollar Mendy was involved somehow in sex trafficking, kidnapping, prostitution, like some kind of Indian Epstein. Sometimes in conversation, when people remember
Indian
him, they'll
Epstein?
be like, hey, did you hear about how the Toon guy was involved in sex trafficking? And I think this idea circulates from the game of telephone we play, where you see that headline, you don't read the article, so you don't really know what it's about, so you just remember it and tell people, and eventually it becomes fact. So here's what actually happened. The case was brought up in 2003 against both Dollar and his brother Shamser Singh, who passed away in 2017. In the initial complaint, a man claimed to have paid them a massive sum of money in order to be brought to either the US or Canada as a part of their touring dance troupe. Once they got there, they would stay in the country illegally. Kind of like the illegal immigration version of when a local band plays a show and they have their friend grab a piece of gear and walk into the venue and they're like, oh yeah, he's crew. And according to the court documents, they were confirmed to have done this with 10 people in San Francisco and in New Jersey. And after the case was filed, 35 more people came forward and said they too paid them this massive sum of money and they too were never brought to the US. And while yeah, these are serious crimes, in my opinion, they don't really come close to approaching the level of what sex trafficking is. Which of course, contrary to some people's understanding, is not something he was ever even accused of, let alone convicted of. In any case, Dollar Mendy was let out on bail and to my knowledge has never served any prison time for the sentence. He maintains his innocence, and after filing his appeal, the judge decided to suspend his 2-year sentence. And in the meantime, he has been busy. All throughout this time, he's continued to make music for films, and he's also been active on his YouTube channel, including a new series in which he plays his favorite songs from his home studio. You look at that golden throne. But anyway, that's the story of Dollar Mendy and Tunak Toon, a song that has an important place not just in music history, but in internet history. One of the internet's very first viral songs. And if you like this video, you should also check out my video on How Can She Slap. I'm out.
Let's check it out.
Fight videos are an undeniable staple of viral internet stuff. Bum fights, world star, Twitter clip accounts. They've just got this universal primal appeal that, you know, all the big-brained individuals want to act like they're above looking at this sort of thing, but I mean, somebody's looking at it. And one of the biggest subgenres of internet viral fight videos is the story of the man who just had enough. A rowdy woman hits him one too many times and he just snaps and goes full equal rights, equal lefts. There's many such tales, but one of the most legendary comes not from World Star, not for some terrible vertical video, but from mainstream Indian television. A clip that gave birth to the famous line,
How can you slap? How can you slap? How can she slap?
but there's a lot more to this story than you probably know about, so today I want to take a look at the legend of How Can She Slap. Hello?
Hey, it's
Steve who?
Shadow Legends, creator of Raid Shadow Legends.
Oh yeah, I know, Raid. I mean, everybody's promoting that right now.
I know you've been playing it.
I mean, yeah, but
Why, do you think you're better than internet historians?
today's video is brought to you by possibly the greatest game ever created, as indicated by its nomination on Google Play's Best of 2019 Users' Choice Awards. You already know, I'm talking about Raid Shadow Legends, the epic, dark fantasy RPG with over 400 champions. That's a lot of champions. They wanted me to show you my favorite champion, and right now it's probably this hot ninja looking broad. I mean, she's probably kind of cold in that outfit. That's not my problem. It's free to play, and with the multi-battle auto mode, it can play itself and do the grinding for you while you sit here and watch the rest of my video. And then once your characters are nice and beefy, you can compete every week in tournaments and events to win prizes. And don't worry about getting bored, because over the next 6 months they have a whole roadmap planned out of new content, including new factions, a tag team arena feature, and a new clan boss. So what are you waiting for? Go to the video description and click the special links, and you'll get 50,000 silver and a free epic champion as a part of the new player program to start your journey. The viral video, How Can She Slap, originates from an Indian TV show called Dadagiri, which debuted in 2008. Dadagiri promoted itself as television's meanest game show. It was a little bit like American Gladiators meets Fear Factor meets Jeopardy, all while enduring tons of verbal abuse from the hosts. During its first season, subtitled Beat the Bullies, contestants had to compete in a number of challenges enforced by the aforementioned bullies. There was Vishal, the Beast. He had the contestants test their might by enduring physical challenges. Then there was Sherman, the Mindstein, and I have no idea what a Mindstein is supposed to mean, but it seems like it's a smart kind of thing. Like you have a good mind, but also you're Einstein. And it makes sense because his part of the show was about having contestants test their wits by answering questions. And then there was Esha the Goddess, who you probably recognize because it was she who slapped. Her whole bit was making the contestants perform mentally taxing and sometimes gross challenges. Losers would then be subjected to gross concoctions by a highly flamboyant chef named Juicy.
Magical power.
The infamous "How Can I Slap" clip happened during a season 1 episode and involved a contestant named Ravi Bhatia. Anyway, let's take a look at it.
Are you sure? क्योंकि ऐसा लगता है ये लोग bad hairdo convention के लिए आए हैं. What the f is it with this stupid sideburns of yours? Are you in some sort of a time capsule 60s में पहुंच गए हो? What is it with those faces? What are you doing?
For something that prided itself in being television's meanest game show, these are some pretty weak-ass insults. She would have been better off pulling out something about the jerk store. I mean, granted, it was 2008, it was a different time, Mark Zuckerberg hadn't yet started rocking his turf bangs, so you know, maybe the bar for what constituted as a haircut so bad that it belongs at the bad haircut convention was simply a lower bar. But either way, both of the fellows were staying pretty quiet and really no-selling these insults. But then Ravi, that cheeky fuck, look at that mischievous, cherubic smile. He just couldn't keep his mouth shut.
The thing is that we don't want to talk with you actually.
Why don't you go and cough then?
And there it was. The most consequential no you in all of recorded history.
How can you slap? How can you slap? I don't want to. How can she slap? How can she slap me? How can you slap me? Okay, bastard, bloody bastard. How can she slap me? You bastard.
Bloody bastard.
I'll fuck your face right now. You fucking bastard. I'll fucking kiss bastard.
Who would have ever thought that a show whose entire premise was about bullying, a show that prided itself on being the meanest game show on TV, would escalate into an all-out brawl? I definitely didn't see that coming. And a lot of you are probably thinking, I know I thought this back when I originally saw it, that this was all just a scheme to promote the show, right? It's very on brand. No, actually, this was actually kept under wraps and not supposed to be seen by anybody that wasn't there that day. This recording would remain tucked away in the archives until 4 months later, September 2008, when a member of the crew leaked it. From there, it would make it to TMZ and go viral all over the Western world. Uploads of the clip would get millions of views and tons of remixes and YTMNDs.
How can she slap? Fuck off then. How can she slap? Fuck off then.
Were made at the time because that's just what people did in 2008. And this was great news for Ravi, who was still recovering from the severe ass beating that brought him to tears. After the How Can She Slap clip went viral, he spoke to the Times of India. 19-year-old Ravi Bhatia is all over news channels past few days. This small-town boy has dashed off a legal notice to the makers of Dadagiri.
Hey, Pan Am?
So you're V. Where's my car?
Why does it matter? What's wrong with this one?
It's borrowed. It's not mine. I asked where my car is.
We can help each other. Rogue said so.
I might have guessed. All right. Tell me all you know. Fail, and you can run back and tell Rogue to fuck right off.
Fuck me, you always on the warpath?
Only when someone tries to jerk me around. Where the hell is my car?
I tell you, and then what? Gonna storm off, handle it all by yourself?
That is no concern of yours. None.
Listen to me. Listen to me. You need my help. And you'll get it. I mean that. Right after we solve my problem.
Fine. Say it. What do you want?
Need to hit a Kangtao transport. Won't be easy. Wanna know I can count on you.
Are you out of your goddamn mind?
About you or the job. Kangtao's AV route will take it over Jackson Plains. Heard that should help us.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Gonna be a guy on board. Need to talk to him.
Fuck.
In return, info on your cargo. Help in getting back what's yours. We got a deal?
I don't know. Shit! Alright, deal. But if you want your thing done, we'll need to get my Thornton back first. So where is it?
Thought this was mostly about the merch.
Fuck the merch. With that ride, I can take any transport job in town. Without it, only thing I can move is pizza. Maybe.
Car's in Rocky Ridge. You're supposed to know where that is. Car's there, goods are there.
Nash, you dirt-eating bastard. I will strangle you.
Nash a chummy yours? He hang you out to dry?
Do not call him that.
Fine. Partner.
Former. If ever. The shift tricked me. Straight nipped my truck and the merch. Probably now aims to sell it off in Rocky Ridge. Is he ever going to be fucking disappointed?
Rocky Ridge. Let's go.
Hang on. I should think this through. Fuck. Yes. We'll need backup. We have one brief stop to make on the way.
Wanna tell me where?
Give me a sec. I should call the client. Convince them to leave the bastard hanging.
Going ahead with the deal behind Rogue's back. Brave, I guess. Or fucking dumber than a drum.
Boz, hey. Nash is gonna pass you the merch in Rocky Ridge. The thing is, the motherfucker screwed me over. Boz, I will take care of it. I just need you to give me a chance. Boz, come on. How many times have I moved things for you? And how many times have I failed? You have my word. After dark? Okay. No, don't call off the meet. Just don't show up. I'll take care of everything. Do you even have to ask? Of course I will. Thanks, Boz. You won't regret this. Okay. I have bought us some time.
Who the hell's Boz? Won't cause us any grief, I hope.
Boz is a stand-up guy. 6th Street.
You drive for gangoons.
Is that not allowed? Street punks need things moved. I need money like anyone else.
So, where to now?
The Aldecaldo camp. I need to see some of the old clan.
Don't seem too excited.
That's not your concern. I still have friends there.
You know, used to ride with Nomads, too.
Truly? I never would have guessed.
Yep, Backer clan. Back in the day. Didn't work out between us, so I landed in Night City.
So we've something in common after all.
Rogue mentioned your friends. Said you guys stopped seeing eye to eye.
Well, since Rogue said so, it must be true.
It isn't?
You mean to irritate me.
Okay, then.
It was just a hiccup. They're still family.
So it's complicated.
You might say so. Yes.
Any chance they might help us? In Rocky Ridge?
That is the plan.
Good, let's roll.
Get in. all day.
Where'd you get the ride? Straight out of some driveway in Rancho?
Yes, exactly. Is that a problem?
For me, no, not at all. I mean, there's no accounting for taste.
Screw you.
How far's the camp?
Just past the city line. We'll jump on the 9 and head east.
How the hell'd you land in this mess?
I liked the color. The air freshener and booster seat came extra.
You know I don't mean the car.
What am I supposed to tell you? That I'm not about to let my partner rob me and get away with it? That my fixer made me look like a goddamn fool? What about you? Why do you need that clown from the AV?
This particular clown's got intel I need. I'm running out of time to get it.
So why didn't she tell me she knew about Nash?
Rogue? Do better not to wonder what her agenda might be.
God damn, I can't stand the bitch.
Guess you'll have to ask her yourself.
Oh, I'll be sure to. I'll especially ask why she told me to work with Nash, yet forgot to mention he was Raffen.
But seriously? Didn't realize Nash was Raffen?
No, the sneak forgot to show me his shift card.
Don't you keep track of who's in the area? The Wraiths, right?
Until now, they mostly jumped corporate transporters down by Highway 64. I see you know things.
Nomad blood. Must have had her reasons.
You don't say. Rogue won't open her mouth without weighing the for and against. What to spill and what to withhold.
He's upset with what happened on the reality show. Reality shows may have their fixed scripts and sensational turn of events, but Robbie is in no mood to take things lying down. This incident occurred 4 months ago. The participants of the show had to pass through the litmus test of abuses and spats, and it was all scripted. We were all given our parts where 70% was to be said as is, and 30% would be improvisation, says Robbie. There was this girl called Isha, opposite me, who was supposed to abuse me and I was to retaliate, but calmly. In other words, there is no mention of any kind of physical contact in this thing, so when he said, how can she slap, he literally meant, how is she allowed to slap? This wasn't a part of the deal. After a while, when it came to improvisations, I presumed she was out of words and came and slapped me hard. I was shocked, and in the heat of the moment, I slapped.
Look what the cat dragged in. Is that a ghost or is it just my hangover?
Fuck you too.
Mm-hmm. And who's this?
My babysitter. V, this is Scorpion. Mitch. 2 old friends.
Well, might not have needed a babysitter if you hadn't lost the merch and the car.
Shut it, V.
Are you kidding? Did that beauty Thornton of yours finally bite it?
She rode it to death in Old Night City.
Nah, it got clept.
Shit. Who dared?
It doesn't matter. I'll get her back. That's why I'm here.
Need your help.
With what? What's this about?
Raffen screwed Pan Am. Plan is to show him that was a bad idea.
How bad did they get you?
Bad enough to make me sit quietly through all your bullshit.
You know, we would do anything for you, sister.
But now? Now's hard.
Seriously? You won't help?
Well, the old man told us to sit tight and get those generators back up after the batteries went kaput.
Generators? You won't help because of some goddamn generators? Is this another joke?
Really could use your help.
Not this time. We're needed here.
Fuck. I don't believe this. So you'll stay put because Saul told you to. You couldn't care less about me.
Pan Am, this isn't about Saul. It's about the clan. You know that.
Listen, we can't leave camp. No chance. But Saul never said a thing about gear.
Okay. Well, I'll need that rifle of yours. And some of my own stuff.
Take whatever you want.
And take care of yourself out there.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. I'll grab the gear, then be out of your hair.
Looks like you're stuck with me.
Mm-hmm.
You disappointed?
I don't know. Maybe a little, yes.
Okay, the matter is simple. Whatever you read or hear about the nomads in the city media doesn't hold an ounce of water. The biggest lie bandied around is that being a nomad is a job. It's not. Nomadism is a lifestyle. See, if you want to know something about nomads, all you have to do is ask one yourself. Luckily, I already know the question because I've been asked 1,000 times. So let's get started, shall we? 1. Why didn't they organize themselves? Why not unite millions of people roaming around the country? Besides, if know what you're looking for, you'll instantly know which clan a nomad belongs to. Which brings us to our next point. Nomads are divided into nations. Nations are divided into clans. Clans are broken down into families. You'll recognize them from their colors, their jackets, and their decals on their cars and bikes. By the way, nomads take their affiliation seriously, so unless you want the broken jaw, I'd advise you to do the same. You'll be eating dirt or worse if you get nomads and Raffens mixed up. Remember, Raff and Shiv are not nomads. They're pariahs, outcast criminals, who were either exiled from the clan or doing something truly effed up, or just ordinary city criminals on the run. Raffens form packs not because it's convenient, but because they don't have a choice. Nobody in the right mind would work with them unless they somehow fit in your plans. Mostly they rob and pillage. Don't ask me where the name Raff and Shiv comes from. All I know is that apparently it means something really dirty. Nomads take all kinds of jobs. Everybody has to eat, right? What kinds of jobs they take depends on the clan or family's particular strategy. Some pick crops in agri-corp fields, others deal with corp shipments to protect their convoys. If you want to smuggle something across the border, you go to the nomads. If you need to vanish off your pissed off creditors or shareholders, right? The nomads will take you so far into the boonies, you'll be shitting next to scorpions. You pay, they do the job. You shake hands and everyone goes their separate ways. Get it now? If you want more specific, just go up and talk to a real nomad. Good luck.
Hey, Pan Am, are you staying a while?
No, I'll be going again soon. We'll talk next time.
Carlos.
Our biz won't settle itself.
Wait. Nomad's Ground Zero. It was a no secret night corps offered generous pay and in some cases free cyberware and biomonitor upgrades to anyone willing to help clean up the crater of radioactive rubble at the HQ Ground Zero. For the first, some first-hand accounts recalled the incessant ticking of Geiger counters like a loud buzz of cicadas in summer. In retrospect, we can only guess how many crater cleaners lost their lives to radiation sickness shortly thereafter. Both the city government and Night Corps have claimed casualties were kept to a minimum, while providing no official statistics to substantiate the claim. That being said, they have never been under pressure to release such figures. After all, most rescue engineering and rubble cleanup teams were not local citizens but nomads. Surprised you didn't know? Don't be. It is a fact many history courses tend to overlook. The city employed hundreds of nomad mercenaries, primarily from clans in Aldecaldo Nation. Aldecaldo. These nomads were hungry for gainful work, and the city needed experts who were not only experienced but brave enough to knowingly put their lives on the line. So, also Arasaka could one day erect another tower in its place. But history is not without its sense of irony. These nomads who so deliberately live outside our so-called system came to its very rescue, not for the first time, and not for the last. God damn it, nomads are cool. Oh, there's another shard.
Hey, Pineapple.
Come on, V. We have a to-do list.
Leave me alone.
Monarchy after the war. I think I read that one already. Oh no, I haven't. At the end of the Fourth Corporate War, in order to establish relative order under federal government, President Elizabeth Cress imposed martial law on US member states and nationalized the domestic arms manufacturing giant Militech. Preoccupied with their own internal issues, most of Europe and Japan paid little attention to developments in North America. Back in the 1990s, corporations had already begun aggressively purchasing huge swaths of arable land from farmers. Those who were left with no choice but to sell eventually found each other and organized into large groups or clans to improve their odds of survival. Looking for reliable work opportunities meant staying on the move and often specializing transport contracts. Yet once the war settled down, their convoys became the single reliable, safe method of interstate shipping. In other words, this time of crisis and adaptation played a major role in the emergence of so-called nomad social class. Meanwhile, in the 1940s, Netwatch created an immense firewall, dubbed the Black Wall, to partition a safe part of the net for human use and curb the threat of rogue artificial intelligences in cyberspace. At the organization's discretion, humanity was forced to sacrifice its access to inestimably valuable resources and knowledge for the sake of net security. Corporate War, the musical. Act 1. The Fourth Corporate War is underway. Saburo Arasaka is displeased with the progress of his son Kei, who is commanding Arasaka's forces. He instructs Kei to defeat the enemy in order to prove himself as a worthy successor. Kei desires... okay. I don't think Kei exists, right? Saburo does. Well, he's dead now, but... wait a minute. Where were we? To defeat the enemy in order to prove himself as a worthy successor, Kei desires above all to gain the acceptance and pride of his cruel father, so he devises a scheme to place all blame of the war's outbreak squarely on Militech. Their conversation is overheard by Sarah, a Militech agent, and also the beloved adoptive daughter of General Donald Lunty. Sarah concludes that the only way to quickly end the bloody conflict is to assassinate Kei. General Lundy confronts his daughter and gives her courage. Soon Andrew, a young idealist and idolater of Saburo, arrives in Night City. His dream is to find the last living seagull in the world, so he attempts to stow away aboard an Arasaka ship. Then he is discovered, apprehended, and mocked by Arasaka security personnel. Meanwhile, Sarah is preparing her ambush against Kay, who is due to inspect the ship the very same day. When the target appears, Sarah is poised to fire her gun when suddenly her eyes lock with Andrew's. Time stops, sparks fly, young love is born. After a moment, Sarah shakes free of her doze and fires at Kay. She misses. Andrew then intervenes, shielding Kay with his own body. The Militech agent must flee the scene. Kay had noticed the twinkle in the eyes of the young lovers when their eyes met. Under the guise of gratitude for saving his life, he decides to use Andrew as bait to trap for Sarah. He orders his scientists to heal the young man's gunshot wound and secretly install a synthetic heart containing a nuclear bomb. He formally accepts the young, grateful man into the Arasaka armed forces, and knowing Andrew's reason for stowing away, he convinces him that Militech is responsible for the destruction of marine ecosystem and seagull population, of course. Sarah returns to General Lundy, and after failing her mission with the father's love, he is able to forgive her, comfort her, and offer her a chance at redemption. He assigns Sarah to lead the charge on Arasaka Tower and the end of this nightmarish war for good. Until smitten from their brief encounter, Sarah and Andrew simultaneously come up with the same plan to reach for the other in cyberspace. By chance, they find each other at a virtual coral reef. At first, they are overwhelmed with the unbridled passion of new love, but quickly realize that they can never be together. Andrew erroneously accuses Militech of destroying the original coral reef, causing Sarah to realize that her beloved has become a member of Arasaka security forces. Both corporations are preparing for the final confrontation. Andrew and Sarah mourn their unrequited love. It's actually requited. It's unfulfilled, maybe, but General Lundy worries over the risk his soldiers face. Saburo reminds his son that he has... right, where's Kay in all of this? There's only one more chance to earn his father's pride and respect. Kay has become... oh, right, he convinced Andrew of this bullshit. He's become to the conclusion that his victory cannot be... I shouldn't say he decided instead to blow up Arasaka Tower and pin the blame on Militech in the hopes of earning his father's love in death. Sarah's unit enters Arasaka Towers. The two lovers meet as battle rages on around them, but neither can bring themselves to harm the other. Kay attempts to detonate the bomb in Andrew's heart, but the detonator fails. Struck with a nefarious idea, Kay instead shoots Sarah, killing her on the spot. Andrew's heart breaks with grief, causing the bomb inside to detonate. In the moment before the explosion, Andrew gazes up into the sky and witnesses a seagull soaring overhead. The nuclear bomb explodes, destroying the tower, the young man, the seagull, and his dreams. Jesus. It's like Romeo and Juliet in Cyberpunk. I mean, it's totally Romeo and Juliet in Cyberpunk. What do you got?
You brought someone new? Does Saul know? Not
What?
your concern, friend.
What have you got?
Want to see what you got in stock.
Browse to your heart's content.
Shut up. Street cred. We've got a street cred. Oh my god. Muzzle mod. 6 fucking mods. But not enough money for this. What about weapons? No. No grenades, no. I'll grab this muzzle, probably. Increases chance to apply damage related. Reduces their shooting accuracy. Increases damage. I mean, I will get this, and I'll get this. Thank you very much. It's always good to have a couple of silencers. Sell this, sell this, sell this, sell this, sell this, sell this. Thank you.
Hey, come on.
Want to see what you got in stock?
Coptic Bible.
Only the baddest firearms in all the Badlands. Isn't that why you're back?
Book of Enoch. Okay, we know the Book of Enoch. Sorry, another shard. Crime block. Crane scanned from the room for with the deft Kiroshi sweep. The corpse was no different than the dozens he had seen before. The dead man's eyes. The crane anymore. Okay, Cyber Psycho. We've read that story. That's pretty good.
Will you help me with this?
Oh shit.
V, take the box, please, and let's go.
What's inside?
A few odds and ends that should be useful. Take it. All right, that's everything. Let's go.
Really?
Did you figure out your differences with Saul? Will you come back?
Panam, you'll stop by later, right, honey?
Next time, Ellie. I promise. So, I'm off.
Yeah, go on, go already. Call us sometime.
Keep an eye on her, V.
Put it in the trunk.
Bit attack.
We can go. Hop in.
Mitch and Scorpion seem good souls.
The best friends a girl could ask for. I'd stay in the camp too if I were in their shoes. Fuck Saul and his generators, of course. Yet the clan comes first. But I'm not part of it anymore.
Still treated you like you're one of them. They care about you.
Mm-hmm. Do you have anyone you would call close?
Not right now, no. Could just be a matter of time, though.
Okay.
So, Rocky Ridge. Empty, dusty hole in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, I heard. Natives either moved to Night City or just got the hell out.
Then you know almost all there is to know. The whole area was waiting on a new interstate extension. It was supposed to breathe new life into the town. It didn't happen, of course.
How many ghost towns you think are there? Hundreds?
Countrywide? Thousands. I drove down I-80 the other day. All you have to do is pull over after sundown. It's quiet then. And you hear it.
What's that?
The wind whistling through boarded-up windows. Tumbleweeds scratching across dry, sandy tracks. That's how towns die. Not with a bang, but with whispers and whimpers.
Were those two in the army?
Scorpion Mitch? Yeah, Panzer boys. They were on contract during the last war.
Panzer boys. Flew those huge transporters.
Scorpion piloted. Mitch ran security. They both got some kick-ass combat implants and a stack of really fucked up nightmares.
Seems you got a real problem with authority.
What?
Rogue, Saul. He your leader?
Their leader.
Seemed in a hurry to delta the hell out of there.
Let's just say Saul wouldn't have been happy to see me.
What happened?
The reason we came to California was because he promised to change for the Aldecaldos. He claimed we would turn over a new leaf. But you saw it. We got a handful of tents on a heap of sand. A hell of a promised land. I wanted something different. Better. Saul's a damned coward. He'll be the end of the clan, I'm certain. Okay, we have arrived.
What do we do?
We get ready to greet the Raffins, and we've little time for that. We'll need to improvise. We should scout first, to look for anything that might be useful.
True paradise far from the big city bustle. New development just outside Night City. Rocky Ridge isn't just a place to call home without breaking the bank. First units already available for reservation. A prime location or easy commute thanks to the planned freeway extension. But it's also the first exciting breath of life into the area and the headly promise of new jobs. Don't build your house on sand, build it in Rocky Ridge. The forklift.
Doubt Rocky Ridge could be any deader. Everything's down. Nothing works here.
Oh, explosives.
Well, have you found anything?
No dice. Nothing's up. All cut off.
Well, we'll make it work. The Raffins will roll in after dusk. We will have a surprise ready for them. We just need to get some power flowing. Let's check the substation.
Okay. Found the breakers, but there's no juice on them.
Not to worry! Come down! I know how to surprise the bastards! Right. So, the intersection is powered from that transformer substation, right? The switchgear on the roof. We'll flip the switch there and everything will light up like Christmas. Understood?
Think flipping on the lights at the intersection will give us the upper hand? Really?
First, we don't know how many are coming. My thinking is it'll be a sizable crew. Second, we have to create an opening to get to my car. If they're bunched together, we won't stand a chance.
So we give them a little light show at the intersection?
Yes. We'll breathe some life into this dusty old town.
As soon as they see the lights, they'll have to check who, why, and how. Nova.
Yep. First, we start up the control terminal below. The gear on the roof is a hunk of junk without it. Come on, we'll give it a boost from the car battery. That should do the trick. Wait for me by the substation. I'll bring the car around.
This thing. It's here because there's gonna be a guy here, right? Eradicator, manual user. As you Now rats, ratosnaurvagicus are prime carriers of dangerous diseases. The Eradicator lets you deal with these lethal pests quickly and effectively. The Eradicator contains explosives, mixed poison to and trace amounts of radioactive material. Even the toughest rodent stands no chance. Spread the Eradicator around the house and you wake up. Wet pop, that means it's working. Oh.
The panel looks to be in good shape. I'll make a bypass circuit to the power supply. That should do it. We'll just have to get it up and running. Grab the jumper cables from the trunk. We'll boost it from the car battery.
Red cable connected.
Give me a moment. I need to hook everything up here. And done. Now the Black Rattler. There she goes. Thought the old jalopy served us well. Okay, I've got voltage. Start the terminal inside. And once the power is on in the building, get on that roof.
You got it.
I'll set up on the tower. We'll have the whole intersection on a platter. You flip the breakers when I give you the signal to do so, understood?
Yes, ma'am. Switchgear's got power.
Prime. We'll have some fun at the intersection. Let's get into position.
Now we wait.
Remember, as soon as we see them, you give us power.
Raffens will come from where? Any idea?
The northeast, I wager. From the freeway that was never finished.
Got it. Cover me, just in case.
Of course. They're rolling in. In my thorn. You see her?
Really, really hard to miss.
Let's take them by surprise. Let's try to do this quietly. If anything happens, I'll start picking them off. Sound good?
Sounds great.
There's not a lot.
Wait for him here.
Get good and ready. The show starts now.
Let there be light.
Grab the car shop. The driver hat. Look for the girl with the mohawk.
Colorful bunch.
Look around. Don't get ready. I'll be inside.
Could cut off everything from here, but I can't get in. Locked down.
So who turned it on?
Maybe from up top somehow. I couldn't.
Worth a try.
Not, I'm telling you. Think everybody just packed up and set out? Almost shut the whole thing under the rug. This is huge.
What is powered electrically though? Not much. Or rather nothing. scouting. So I can take it.
I'm gonna make sure you never.
Oh, jeez. Okay. I don't need this. For now, at least. I can still do. I can probably still do this stealthily. And. Ooh. So what I can do is. This guy.
I'm on him. Come on, Pete.
Shut up.
I'll make sure you get off easy.
Hell yeah.
I've been made.
Fuck. Covering you. We have to pick all of them up now.
Oh shit. I can take the guy upstairs, I think, first.
They will regret this.
I've been made.
Come on.
Time for the festivities.
You seriously making me look for you? Come on.
Won't get rid of us that easily.
Get off easy.
Shit.
You seriously making me look for you? Come on.
They're on their last legs.
I'll make sure you get off easy.
I should take this guy out first.
Good work. What now? A few ships still breathe.
Get in the car out of here. No need to risk it.
Fine. Meet me at the city line. North side. Don't get too used to her. She's mine. See you soon.
Wow, okay. Wait a second before we start. Have you wondered how this book ended up in your hands? Where it came from? Who delivered it? Of course you haven't. Nobody ever wonders about things like that. It's a shame because the answer is quite interesting. I'd go as far as to say it's fucking fascinating. Not so long ago, most shipments were made via sea freighters, cheap, quick, and relatively safe. But during the Fourth Corporate War, some genius in Arasaka had an idea to release automated self-replicating mines controlled by an AI into the ocean. What could possibly go wrong? A lot, it turns out. The AI had a single objective: destroy enemy vessels. Simple, right? And USA military ships would get blown out of the water, while Arasaka Free State ships will sail by untouched, except for the AI's ironclad logic, since there was a non-zero probability that a vessel waving a friendly flag might also have enemies on board. In the interest of optimization, it would also be sunk. Of course, when the leadheads back at the Arasaka HQ realized what they'd done, they rushed to update the software only for the AI to reject it as a virus, and thus, because of a handful of individuals' complete lack of imagination and foresight, the history of maritime travel came to an end. What? So let's come back to the question, how did you end up with this book? Unless you live in Chicago, where it was published, then surely not via the net, since that was destroyed by Patmos. Maybe it was shipped by plane, but air freight is incredibly expensive, so most likely not. By car then? We can't rule it out, but if I had to bet on it, I'd say it came to your city via train. Imagine that. Trains, that's right, the ones that go choo-choo, have survived into present day. Just last year, 15,526 miles of new train tracks were put into use, including the underground tunnel connecting Tokyo and Shanghai. At top speed, an armored train can complete the distance between the two cities in under 5 hours. Now that's something I had to experience for myself. 2 days later, I was in Tokyo, standing on the platform of Sayonara Station. Can I open this window? No. I can't take this person down. Can I distract them or something? I can. Great.
Great. Just great.
Bang, 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 bang. Fuck off.
Good work. What now? A few ships still breathe.
Get in the car out of here. No need to risk it.
Fine. Meet me at the city line. North side. Don't get too used to her. She's mine. See you soon.
No window, no, there's no window. Fuck off.
Huh? The fuck is it this time?
You're asleep. What? I have the jump, so maybe I'll use that.
Good work. What now? A few shifts till breathe.
Get in the car out of here. No need to risk it.
Fine. Meet me at the city line, north side. Don't get too used to her. She's mine. See you soon.
Okay, so what we're doing is
Huh? Might as well take a look.
bang. Oh shit. So now what I want to do is get out and take out the sniper on the roof. Those two guidos, or all of the rest of them I can ignore probably. What?
You're seriously making me look for you? Come on.
I was sort of quiet, but not exactly. You should have not seen me. I can get this guy.
Last fucking time.
Why? Okay. Nope. boys. I have map hacks. You're fucking dead. By dead, I mean not dead, because I'm not playing lethal. Shit.
Say goodbye!
Fuck this shit. Bum, ba, da, ba, bum. I mean, it wasn't perfect stealth, but whatever. It's decent enough. And I'm not getting away with in a hurry. Just... Oh shit. Oh, it's got cargo on it too. It's over there. Why do I have to drive like a... What's wrong with this?
Move. I'll take the wheel. What are
There.
you waiting for?
Couldn't wait another minute, could you?
At last. And? She's prime wheels, isn't she?
Dreamy indeed. No surprise you wanted her back.
She completes me.
See? Managed just fine without Mitch and Scorpion.
Listen, V, it's not over yet.
It's not? You got the cargo, you got your car.
I did not get Nash, who was not in Rocky Ridge. The fucker didn't show.
So it was about vengeance, the whole time.
The hell you know about me?
Either you're not being straight with me, or you don't know what you want. Hard to say which is worse.
Just listen to me, for fuck's sake. I know where their little hidey hole is. We'll take the old unfinished freeway nearby. They will not be expecting us. I'm sure of it. What's gotten into you?
Let's do the deal with 6th Street first. We can talk about Nash later.
Later? When? After he hears all about the show at Rocky Ridge? If we go now, we can still take him by surprise.
You really want to raid the Raffin's den now? Holding the merch you literally just got back.
The cargo will be fine. V, I have to do this. Do you understand?
All right, so where's this hideout?
A hop and skip away. Thanks, V. What Nash did. I placed my trust in him. He was the first person I worked with after leaving the Aldecaldos, after I came to Night City. And I granted him my trust.
Vengeance is rarely worth the risk.
Reason against gut need. An interesting take. I'd like to see for myself. Are you ready?
Let's get him.
Can we do this quietly, please?
He's mine.
Jeez, are you trying to make new...
Oh yeah!
Shut your fucking mouth! Mighty work, B!
Rhino, die!
Oh shit. What? I'm her.
No one to save you now!
Hell yeah! What, asshole? You really think I'd let it slide?
Oh yeah!
Shut your fucking mouth!
Fuck this. Can I skip it?
Game on!
What, asshole? You really think I'd let it slide?
Oh my god. Oh, this is so bad. It's 1 PM. I probably should finish. God, this woman.
Game on!
No.
Hell yeah! Let's get 'em.
We had some fun.
Right. Heads up, reloading.
What a clusterfuck!
Reloading. Cover me.
Oh yeah!
Just what we needed. Gas is coming in from the other side.
Oh my god. No. Oh my god.
You're next in line!
Fuck. Shit, no.
Shrooms.
What? This is completely not for my character. It's like you either have to be lethal, good at shooting. Oh my god, it's all from the top.
You're gonna fucking
I'm on
pay!
it! Come on, Pete! What, asshole? Did you really think I'd let it slide?
Can I eat now? Fantastic.
Shut your fucking mouth!
Ride or die!
Let's get it.
Ride or die! Stay right where you are!